Commissioner Houston had a scheduled absence, and Dr. Estrop is not able to be here because he is sick. So they wanted you to know that. So we'll go ahead and stand for the invocation and pledge. I'm going to ask Tim Volz to come up and lead us in the invocation. No, you can go from, I'm sorry, Tim, my bad. Right at the podium up there.
Father in heaven, we know that the earth is yours along with everything in it. That includes Springfield, Ohio, and all of its residents. As such, we thank you for the privilege of serving your city and all of our neighbors here. Lord, I pray that everyone involved in this meeting tonight would be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to anger. I pray that every word spoken would be seasoned with grace and the decisions made tonight would be marked by wisdom and discernment. I pray these things in the name of Jesus, who above all called us to love you and love our neighbors the way we love ourselves. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
United States of America, Republic.
City Commission is committed to creating a meeting environment that allows for civil and constructive dialogue as we work together on the challenges facing our community. Tonight, we will continue to have public comment periods in the beginning of our formal meeting. Those wishing to speak must provide a completed card given to the clerk. There'll be no new cards received after 7:15. We will only be calling on cards that are from Clark County. After the comment period, we will hold a city commission comment, and that'll be an opportunity for commissioners to respond to public comments. We will also ask the city manager and staff to answer questions that were posed during the public comment period. And if we can't answer them, that means they require additional research. Questions, doing that will follow up in the next couple of days. That's why we ask for your information, so we can make sure that you get the appropriate information. All questions not answered during the meeting will be posted on the city's website prior to the next commission meeting with the answers. Again, we want to create a conducive environment for constructive dialogue, and we will continually learn to evolve and create such environment. After the comment period tonight, we're going to take a 5-minute intermission before proceeding with the legislative agenda. Due to the heightened security measures, we ask that members of the audience not approach the dais. Since the last commission meeting, our community has entered into some unprecedented, challenging times as we've been thrusted into the national spotlight, and we've become a focal point of the presidential election. This has led dozens of threats to individuals, government facilities, schools, medical buildings, and medical buildings throughout the community. Unfortunately, this distracts from the real issues and challenges facing our cities. We stand committed with our community partners to continue to develop solutions and strategies to overcome these issues. We continue to ask for your help. As you know, we have continued to ask for support from our state and federal leaders concerning this matter. I would like to thank these folks who have helped us tonight in additional safety concerns, the Cincinnati Police Department and the Ohio State Patrol. And then I'd also like to thank those, we had an event here this last week, and individuals from the safety departments in Oakwood, Moraine, Centerville, and Beaver Creek. All these communities surrounding Springfield and even a little farther away like Cincinnati have stepped up and have offered support to Springfield during this additional time, and I'd like to thank them for that. We're going to go into our comment period. You'll have 3 minutes again. We won't be answering questions after your 3-minute time, but we will be listening actively, taking notes and answering it the best we can during our comment time and along with the city manager and his team. We'll begin tonight's comment first with Bill Monaghan. Monaghan? Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah, my name is Bill Monaghan, and my question was about the. We've been wondering, a lot of us, why traffic laws aren't being enforced for migrant residents of the area. We've heard of a lot of cases where people are being allowed to leave the scene of an accident without being charged, driving away with in cars that don't even have tags. If a citizen did that, we would not be allowed to drive away with our car. And so we're wondering why that's allowed. In December, a woman was run over and killed, and the driver has not been charged with any of even the traffic violations he was involved in. And it came to my attention today, I think, or yesterday, that there's a provision of the temporary protective status that if someone is convicted of even two misdemeanors, be they traffic violations or misdemeanor violations of criminal law, that they lose their temporary protective status. So we're wondering, A, are you guys aware of that? Is that true? Or are you aware of it? And if B, is that the reason why migrants are allowed to walk away from the scene of an accident or the scene of a crime without getting charged? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We will have answers at the end of the time here. Jacob Payne? Jacob Payne? Payne?
Good evening. My name is Jacob Payne. I'm here on behalf of the Haitian Community Alliance. Mr. Mayor, my community would like to thank you for the wonderful job you're doing in the community, as well as the other city officials. But this evening, they sent also a message to the whole city of Springfield. The message is unity. I think it's time to stop the rhetoric ideas that Haitians are this, Haitians are that. We need to embrace the idea that the city of Springfield needs to unify. We need to be united. We don't need to fight over nonsense stuff. Today, Mr. Mayor, we lost one of ours in a tragic accident. He wasn't at fault, but as a community, we deal with it. We know how to take it in. But my question is to the other residents of Springfield, why are you being so angry when accident happens? It happens to anyone. Today it happens to us. The ball is in our corner and we're dealing with it. We don't complain. We don't get angry at anyone because it's an accident. Mr. Mayor, we think you're doing a wonderful job, but we also think you need to implement more programs to help us as immigrants. Some of us are lost. Me as an immigrant here, I was chasing the American dream. I'm here today. As a U.S. Armed Forces veteran, I've served in the United States Navy with honor, courage, and commitment. And I was chasing the American dream. Today I'm living the American dream. My people who have come here by different ways, by different means, they are chasing the American dream as well. But today they don't need to be paying the price of something they didn't create. They're just being part of it. When I was fighting out in the Persian Gulf, I fought as an American citizen, as an American sailor. But today I can be viewed as an Haitian immigrant. I'm tired of this, Mr. Mayor. We need to be united. We need to come together as a city. We need to come together as American to stop the nonsense. Let's move forward with the city of Springfield. Let's make it the great city that it is. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, once again, for allowing us to be here, to be part of your great city. Thank you.
Please, whether you support or you're against, I'd ask that there be no clapping, just to keep a nice civil dialogue. And please, no comments or you'll be asked to leave politely. Thank you so much. From your seat. Diane Daniels?
Good evening, everyone. As you well know, my name is Diana Daniels. And what I'd like to say is this. I am so frustrated. And I am angry. And I'd like to take out my vengeance, but I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you this. We did not need to come to this point. There were days and days that I stood up here and asked and begged for an opportunity for the citizens to come to the table and voice their concerns for more than 3 minutes. Every time a citizen got up here and had a concern, oh no, pushback, that's racist, that's xenophobic, when in fact you weren't listening to what was said underneath. We didn't have to come to this point. We didn't have to come to this circus. But yet, the city commission and someone decided that race needed to be the issue. I cite 2 documents by the city which state specifically, one of them from the CCHD on a slide that they presented, the challenges in Springfield, and they cite 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course at the bottom, racism. In black and white. That's what you thought of us and our concerns. The City of Springfield Immigration Facts on Facebook. Very nice document until you get to the bottom. What are the challenges we face as a community? Same language as this, and it says the challenges are intolerance and racism. You never gave us an opportunity to come to the table. The only opportunity we had was to participate in a discussion on racism and discrimination by the NAACP. I was there. I went to the second one. I had ideas. And how was I treated, Mayor Rue? I was verbally assaulted. I want my 4 weeks back. I had great ideas. The one woman before me had the same ideas as I did. She presented the same thing. She was not treated the way I was. Do you know why she wasn't treated the way I was? It was the color of our skin. Oh no, we didn't need to come here. If you'd have come to us and let us come to the table, this would not have happened. Not at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac Eldridge?
I just got a question. Why in the city of Springfield do we not have a curfew for minors? I contacted Sheriff Deb Burchett myself, and she told me there is no curfew for minors at all. Now, my thing about this is this is a danger. You know, all the stuff we got going on in our city. There's kids out here running around late at night. It's a downfall for youth crimes citywide. I know everybody sees it. Just a block away from my house the other night, there was a teenager stabbed somebody. That's unacceptable. Countless youth as late as 3 to 5 a.m. run the street. That's totally unacceptable as a community. Everybody's seeing it. They're destroying things, breaking into people's properties, doing all their stuff. In fact, I know of an incident where someone aged 26 was pulled over for driving 80 mile an hour down North Belmont between Main and Lagunda with 2 minors aged 16 to 17 after 2 a.m. The parents of the minor children weren't contacted. And I know because I'm one of the parents. On the police report, there was nothing listed in the police report. There was 2 minor children in a car with a 26-year-old driving 80 mile an hour down North Belmont. That's unacceptable. Why wasn't this stated on the police report? Why wasn't I called as a parent? Are our police hiding things? If they are, what else are they hiding? Why is everybody around town getting away with driving without a license, driving without insurance, driving without tags, everything? And they're getting away with it and getting let off, not even getting a ticket. I watched a video the other day of a journalist that was here that actually reported that himself. When I was a child, we were protected by our city. Ours isn't. These children are out late at night, are a risk to themselves, our citizens, and our community as a whole. This needs to change for city safety, and it needs to change now, not later. Another thing I'd like to address, why, when we go down to pay our taxes on our homes, or we go to walk in this building right here, we have to walk through metal detectors. But these kids and people visiting these schools, they don't have to walk through them. Granted, yeah, they do put locks on the doors. That ain't going to do anything. They hit the button, let somebody in, they come in with the gun. It's not happened in our city yet, but it's happening all across the country. How long is it going to be until it happens here? We need metal detectors at our doors in our schools, and we need bag scanners in our schools as soon as possible.
Thank you. Jessica Schaefer.
Hello. I stand here as a lifelong resident of Springfield because I also am tired of the fear. You know, I'm tired of being told that I should fear because you know what? I don't fear our migrant and our immigrant people. Tell you what I fear. I fear members of this community who have allowed themselves to be ruled by their anxiety and dragged into a BS moral panic. That's what I fear. I fear the doors that you have opened. We have Proud Boys and Klan and white supremacists marching in our streets and planning to do more. Like, do you understand this? I fear for the families and children I serve as a mental health therapist. I feel for my refugee and immigrant families and kids who have done nothing except escape and try to find safety. More than that, I fear for the Black children that I work with because, as we know, bigots and racists don't really do due diligence, and God forbid something happened to them because they're on the wrong side of town and they look wrong. Like, period.
Hey, please, I'm going to have to ask you to leave if you disrupt.
I've spent the last 2 weeks in every single session I have with every child in fear, not fear of migrants, not fear of immigrants, fear of the hate that is spewing out of the adults in this community's mouths. That is what I'm seeing. And I fear for every child who's being taught and normalized this hate, they're going to come against a hard reality check when the real world doesn't treat them that way and they have to figure out what it is. I'm not afraid of you guys. I know standing up here, I've made myself a target. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care at all because I refuse to be bowed and broken by hate. I refuse to be made bitter by your hate. I refuse it. Period. And for those of you guys who would rather see solutions, I implore you to speak up. Stop remaining silent and complicit in other people's hate. Just stop. I know we're tired of the chaos. I know we are, but it's imperative that we stand up. Because when, not if, one of our community members is hurt or killed or a riot happens or a community is attacked, then those who spread hate and unsubstantiated lies need to understand because of the stain on your soul, your morals, and your humanity is why it happened. People who amplify and echo blood libel will have blood on their hands. And you don't get a pretend innocence when you have Nazis and white supremacists backing your play and marching with you. It's as simple as that. To paraphrase Welsh during the McCarthy witch hunts, you have no decency. Can you please have decency and stop this? Because it doesn't stop with the chosen scapegoat. Hate movements always find an enemy. Having a Republican after your name on your ballot isn't going to save you when they need a new target. And you all need to realize that.
Thank you. That concludes your comments. Robert Spinelli. Robert Spinelli. You go up to the microphone, please. Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to say this. I agree somewhat with the last comment. We don't need hate groups in Springfield. We have enough problems as a city as it is. But I want to know, for quite some time, we've had immigrants coming to our community. And why it took you all so long to ask the federal and the state government for help with the stress that's on our police, our fire, our EMTs, our school system. our housing. You bought 2 motels, $4 million, supposed to help homeless people. And 22 families got kicked out and are living in a tent city. We're starting to become a big city, the amount of people that are here. We're going to wind up being the next Detroit because we're going to be bankrupt. Why? Where's the extra highway state patrol with all the accidents that we have? I don't see them out on the street. Right down where I work, I've seen 4 accidents in 1 week. And nobody charged with anything. We don't need to target one specific group. We've got a diversity of people here. We have a big Indian community. Look at our healthcare system. We have a big Hispanic community. Now we have a big Haitian community. But it shouldn't have taken you all so long in a presidential debate to ask for the help that this city needed. That's your guys' fault. And that's why we need new city government. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Jordan. Go ahead, sir. Thank you.
So, yeah, I came to talk about the problems going on in our city today. And as the last 4 years, I'm getting tired of people portraying white people as being racist and told that we hate black people. One thing right now, they're trying to misconstrue things here, and the Haitian people are trying to act like they're African Americans that have been here and born and raised here. They're trying to portray themselves as a black American. They're not black Americans, you know. And I want to know why are these people being coddled and pampered and giving us beautiful life, a life better than I live, off my tax dollars? You know, what's going on with that? And there's a couple of things, a couple of rumors I want to know about Haitians buying guns in pawn shops around here, having people, citizens, go into shops and buy a bunch of guns and distribute them out. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's true, that needs to be stopped. You know, I don't know, why do they need guns? What are they scared of? Man, they getting the red carpet treatment, man. This is wrong. You know, we are second class citizens. The citizens that were born here, we become second class to a bunch of people that don't even belong here. A bunch of chaos has come to our city because of the immigrant situation. If we took on a problem from a third world country that is not our problem, why are we taking care of this and supporting this? You know, why don't these people go home and fight for their own countries they seem so proud of? You know, instead of coming over here crying and getting a bunch of free shit. You know, that's wrong. Off all the people that pay taxes, and then they want to turn around and start hating on us and calling us racist. There's something really wrong with that picture. And what else?
Please.
Oh, and there was a whole bunch of things sent out to the Haitian community to be able to vote, but they caught on to it. You know, there's a bunch of scandalous things going on in our town.
Thank you for your time, Wes Babian. Again, please keep your comments to yourselves in the audience. Thank you. Take care. Go ahead, Wes.
Our new neighbors come from Haiti, and they come here legally, looking forward to live in peace and well-being. They are coming from circumstances of tragedy, misfortune, and danger. While our community had been dealing with many needs, the reality is that these newcomers have filled workforce needs. Many are highly educated and skilled and talented people, and they have reversed the downward population spiral of our city and county. There are growing pains. That is undeniable. Being thrust into the spotlight as we have been in recent days has only compounded our situation. However, I am hopeful. Our many community leaders, including our city commission, have been working to deal with our challenges. People of goodwill and kindness from here and from many other places are responding. We are working through these challenges, and there is room for others to join in and act with that same goodwill and kindness. We can treat others as we would want to be treated, and we can show the world the goodness that resides in Springfield.
Thank you, Wes. Mark Sanders.
Wow, what a 2 weeks it's been. I want to say this, and I'm going to say it as succinctly and as plainly as I can. Everything that's happened in this city in the last 2 weeks are your fault. In March of this year, I brought to the commission about domestic animal abuse. Gave you where to look. Nobody looked. Nobody. I've been harping since September of last year about towing vehicles driven by unlicensed drivers. It's still happening today. I was told by the Springfield City Police Union leader that it's a command decision not to tow. The ORC says otherwise. Every other jurisdiction around here tows without a license. There is video evidence. In fact, back to my domestic animal abuse, you guys even admitted during that meeting you heard the same thing. But then the city manager comes on TV and says there's never been a report of it.
Hey, who just did that? Because I'm going to ask you to go. Monaghan, you got to go, my friend. Thank you.
So
Appreciate you. Just a minute, Mark. Thank you. Thank you.
So when something's identified and brought to the attention of those who can fix it, that's an incident. That's a report. Direction was given. Nothing was done. I take personal offense. City manager impugn my background.
Direct your comments to me, Mr. Sanders.
I take offense. The city would impugn the background and the trustworthiness of anybody on this side of the lectern for the last year, because that's what happened on national TV, and I demand an apology to me and everyone else who's spoken behind this one and that one and attended these meetings. Because if he can't do that, he's ill-equipped to be in the position he's in, and he should resign. I think no more needs said.
Jonathan Francis.
I'm going to call an audible on what I was going to say. I think it's interesting that you would get up and take absolutely no personal responsibility for going on national television and causing exactly what you want anyway.
I want to make sure, John, that you're just directing your comments to me and the commission. Thank you.
I think we all know who I'm directing it to. But anyway.
Please.
Anyway, just what I was going to start with was, for months now, for a year now, we've just been hearing about how you guys could have done more. You let this happen. you let it get out of hand. And so I have absolutely no idea what those people could be referring to. And so the logical thing is to think that, well, they've done their research and they know what they're talking about, and I haven't and I don't. So I'm just going to ask, when somebody moves to this city, how soon is it until you know that they're here? I assume they fill out a W-4, they go through a tax cycle, they fill out a change of address form. How is that information compiled, reported to you? How soon will you know? If I was to move my retired mother here, when would you know? If I moved her here today, how soon would you know that she exists here? That's question one. Question two, what authority, legal authority, does the city have to supersede in a rental contract, to dictate freedom of movement, to decide who can live where? We all know from a state level, sex offenders, certain things like that, we can dictate where people can live. But in just a private rental contract, if I want to rent to somebody, what legal authority does the city have to step in and say, no, you cannot rent to that person in this home? And then sort of part and parcel with that is, once somebody is in a home, what is your legal authority to remove them from the home for whatever reason? Again, outside of a sex offense or something like that. You just decide, we don't like this person here. They're not breaking the law inherently, but we just don't want them here. We want them gone. What is your legal authority to do that? I suspect I know the answers to those questions, but I'm also just asking genuinely. So I could say a lot more, but I won't. Have a good night.
Thank you. We'll have answers later. Roger Meddock?
Haven't been here for a couple weeks. Out with hip replacement. The first thing I want to address, a couple weeks ago, I brought to the city pictures of Lincoln School. Drug addicts living there since January. I believe that after talking to the chief of police Tuesday before the meeting and giving out 8x10 photos, the city commission stepped up with the chief of police and had the Lincoln School cleaned up. I will give credit where credit is due. Thanks to the city employees that did an amazing job, and to the chief of police for sending out police officers to protect the city employee. That had to happen. We had to have a police force protecting our city work. Come on. That's sad. But why did it take so long? You guys knew back in January. It was on News Center 7. Mike Campbell. Look it up. But I want to thank somebody finally stepped up and protected our elementary school kids, because I did it. I chased them off every day, took my dog and a gun, and chased those drug addicts every day. Thanks. My last little thing is on September 16th, a Haitian ran a stop sign and T-boned a police officer. It's on video. Everybody knows about it. Does one of our officers have to get killed? Does one of your family members have to get killed before you step up? And these Haitians can't drive. They have no business being on the road. Let's stop this. Somebody's going to get killed. What, is the officer not working now? We one less officer now after they're getting T-boned? Are they on workman's comp? What's going to happen? Where you guys say, enough's enough. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Melissa Skinner?
What a couple weeks it's been. I wish as a whole the citizens would have felt like their voices were heard and the answers and some solutions would have been started coming sooner. So I pray this meeting will bring more solutions, and moving forward, as the last couple have been a start. I'm still wondering about how to get in contact with the victim advocate for a person that has been waiting 6 weeks roughly and still has not gotten a call back. This involves the case that was dismissed for the minor that was driving a four-wheeler and was told that in order for her to get a transcript, which was a Zoom call on the case that was dismissed, she would have to pay $95 to $125 to see why the case was dismissed. This should not be the case for the victim in order to get some repairs needed on her car. Our juvenile system is broken and it needs fixed. The next thing I have is the YouTube post about the driver that hit a house a while back. And yes, he was Haitian. The people finally got their house repaired, but a video that the man has online says that this person has been in multiple wrecks. He has different names listed in the records online, which is all public record. He switches from his first and last name, and it's on there. It's on this YouTube video. I'll give you the link. How is this happening in our court system? And how is this person still able to drive with all these wrecks? The next question I have is First Diversity getting tax incentives from the city to hire people for the factories. This was also in a video, and I'd just like to know the truth. I would like to hear from the police about what changes have been made for the people driving illegally without a license. I don't care whether you're American, pink, purple, black, Haitian, I don't care who you are. If you are driving without a license and without insurance, you should not be on our roads, period, point blank. And how many cars have been towed? Unity comes when all abide by the same rules and regulations. Some things should have been in place from the very beginning. I feel some of the people have been fighting week after week for fair for all. I will ask again, what is the plan for our homeless? Cold weather is coming. I pray as a community we can move forward together and make the necessary solutions we need to make Springfield the place I have always called home great again.
Thank you. Ms. Crawford?
Hi, I would just like to say it's so sad that we're having this politic going on that Springfield have to have these bomb threats about different things, and people fail to realize about our children. Many of our children are messed up with their schooling talking about a bomb threat. Y'all don't know how serious this is, Rob, about our children. I don't know how many of y'all got kids up there, but think about our kids being threatened with bomb threats, okay? I would like to know an answer today, tonight, tomorrow, next year, or however you want to do it. What are we going to do? You got so many kids who are getting counseling now for the bomb threats. Something we never had in Springfield. And like somebody said, the school do need some kind of thing when people come into the school to check out everything and check out our children. Don't wait till something happened and say, well, we was unaware of it. We didn't know nothing about it. We all taxpayers here too. Also, I need to know, who do I talk to about signing up my child for the free driving lessons that is being set for certain people, whatever they say, but we want everybody to get free driver's lessons. You got teenagers wanting to drive. Them driving lessons are $500 to $600. We need our kids to learn how to drive too, and we want it to be free. Also, I want to know, our governor is saying he's sending $2.5 million to Springfield. Why is he sending it now? And where is that money going? Where is that money going? If it's helping our children, all the kids here, how many schools we got? 18, 19 schools? 17. Every last one of them kids needs some mental health. Need help. Half of these kids don't want to go to school. One of y'all was on TV talk, or the superintendent was talking about, your parents need to bring your kids back to school. Why? They've been threatened. If they've been threatened, we've been threatened. And something needs to be done about it. Don't wait till something happens and then, oh, we need to do something about it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maximilian Clark.
Gosh, so nice to be here back home addressing people on a beautiful day. I don't know if you saw the weather report, but it was supposed to be raining cats and dogs today. Too soon? Anyways, I am here as the local representative for the J.D. Vance office. And the senator thanks you.
Please make your comments.
The senator thanks you all for your support, the same support that put him into office in the first place. And yet, I am personally appalled that a Republican elected in Ohio would say that something that we made up isn't true. Do you know how that makes us look? How it makes the senator look? Lazy, incompetent, cruel?
Hey, please don't make your comments. Please. Please.
Listen, we need to get in line. We do not win this November without immigration chaos. That is why we torpedoed Senator Langford's bipartisan immigration bill. Okay? Like, if people aren't talking about how immigrants are eating all the fish from Finding Nemo, they might actually want to talk about our economic policy, which, can we dim the lights? Thank you.
No.
Thank you. So, this is our plan to fight inflation. And the best part about it, it's whatever you want it to be. That's right. Once you start writing stuff down, it gets messy, it gets complicated. And it's hard. It's hard to fight inflation. Like, apparently, putting a tariff on all imported goods and having a national 22% sales tax makes prices go up. Who knew? Wouldn't it be better just to talk about how immigrants are stealing car tires to set them on fire because they want the air to be stinky? Look, we don't want to divide this community. We don't want to bring extra strife to this community or the Haitian community. We can do better. The senator is open to making up a new conspiracy theory. Here, can we have the lights back up? Thank you. I'm going to need a country. I heard Guatemala.
Sir, you just direct your comments to me.
Oh, perfect. Verb, please.
Please stop.
Yeah, bird
Please.
arson. Bird arson. Thank you. Got that.
Sir,
Listen,
are you done? Is
Our
there anything
only
else?
popular position is that being mad at immigrants for trying to use social services that we're trying to get rid of entirely. Look, our entire real platform is just about getting rid of overtime pay and labor unions, getting rid of the minimum wage, building submarines, invading Mexico. This is all real. We wrote this down. This is part of our platform. But hey, no taxes on tips. Am I right? And if you don't support us, the Guatemalans are going to come for your birds and they're going to set them on fire. I will now open the floor to questions.
Walter Madison, please sit down.
No?
Please. Walter, are you going to? Walter Masterson? Okay. Julia L. Oh, you're going, okay.
Thank you. I'm also here from the J.D. Vance campaign. We have prepared a statement. We mean no disrespect to the hardworking people of Haiti. Listen, it's simple. We love immigration. We just don't want illegal immigration. Now, the Haitian community has immigrated here legally, and we think that should be illegal. Ever since the Haitians have arrived, they've been dressing like prom every day. They're buying groceries from local businesses, and property values have skyrocketed. Oh, wait, they're going up? All right, so property values are going up because the Haitians are paying above market rent on time with money. Money that, they've earned from, taking black jobs, I guess. We're from the J.D. Vance campaign. That's our official motto. So let me see. Okay, it has come to our attention some of these Haitians are citizens and registered to vote, and we wish we knew about that before we started the whole cats and dogs thing. Yes, Medicare, welfare, food stamps, homeless services, these are all programs we've been trying to cut for decades, and now immigrants are using them to become functional tax-paying citizens? I mean, come on. I mean, we believe in the American dream over at the J.D. Vance campaign. And in order to achieve that dream, we need to stop other people from that dream. America.
Okay. Julia? Al, are we doing this again? Hey, would you please? Okay, officer.
Freedom of speech.
Well, it would appear that I have been preluded by Tim and Eric and some rather interesting profane remarks. I was going to make a joke about how my anxiety meds weren't going to work tonight because I'm terrified of public speaking. However, the proceedings of tonight have made what I'm about to say a lot easier. So, I want to make something very clear. I don't do this. I wanted to just kind of stay to myself. I'm a very anxious person. But lately, I can't do that anymore. I wanted to address a couple of remarks that have been made here tonight. I was originally going to make a prepared statement because I'm the type of person who likes to think that she sounds smart. So I wanted to prepare a statement. I had in my mind, I was going to give an Aaron Sorkin-esque speech and change the world, but of course that's not how anything works. Instead, you get this. First of all, I want to respectfully address the comment, the Mayor Roux, that you made regarding how this has all been a distraction. I recognize that what you meant by that was well-intentioned. However, this is not a distraction. This is the issue. This is the issue that is facing the country, and it has been for the last, every election cycle since Gore. Now, facing our country today is what has been defined as a culture war, but it's not. What it is it is a war between a variety of factions that have each tried to find meaning in a world that is spiraling out of control. And unfortunately, that meaning appears to be bigotry for many. Not just bigotry, but it appears to be complicitness with bigotry, justifications of bigotry. And, sorry. It is mind-blowing to me that a group like the Haitian immigrants in this community have to appeal to patriotism, that they have to invoke their military service, that we have to make up justifications about how they're good workers for them to be treated with baseline humanity. It is mind-blowing to me that is required of us. Not of us, of them. Sorry, of them. That is required of them. I'm not making demands of the commission because I know your powers are limited. I know that this has become a platform for so much more than just our community. So this is a message not just to you, but to the powers that be for the state and God damn it, the country. The time is now for all of goodwill to come to the aid of our kin. And we cannot just say we disavow fascism. We have to take action. We have to stand with and we have to stand against. Words are not enough. We must take action. Thank you.
Josh Brewer.
My name's Josh Brewer. Disabled vet. Lived here all my life. I am tired of the black-white rhetoric. I'm tired of the name migrant. They're here. The Haitian population's here. They're not going anywhere. I blame Springfield. I don't blame you guys. I remember when we used to help each other out. You needed help, I helped you. I got some people who work with me, work for me. I'd give them my... God, you guys got me so mad. They're here. They are part of our population. Reach out, help them. You see something wrong, fix it. They're not. Be Springfield and fix them. For the people that want to stand up here and make a mockery of Springfield, if you guys going to come up here, act like idiots, talk like idiots, stay out of Springfield. We don't need you.
Just
We got enough.
address me.
I have fought for my country. I'll talk to them too one time.
You just addressed me. Thank you.
You know who you are.
Sir,
Start helping out. Start helping out. Brother, you need help?
Sir, I need
You know who you
you, sir,
call.
if you're done, thank you.
Start helping each other out. Let's bring
Daryl Summers, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Daryl Summers. I reside in Clark County. I'm speaking to the commissioners, the mayor, and the manager. I have been following what's been going on in our city for at least a year now because it affects all of us in the county. I see grievances on both sides, and it seems to get worse with every passing week. The people of Clark County are scared, and rightly so. People have reasons for these fears. We are not just in the national spotlight, but we are in the spotlight of the whole world. We have an opportunity as on a local level to make a difference and to show the world what being an American is all about. We will be judged by how we deal with the problems we face. We are making history today. The only solution that I can clearly see is to have both sides come together with the city manager, the mayor, and the commissioners and county commissioners. A select people to come together on both sides to voice the problems that we have at hand, to come up with solutions we can talk about together. There's got to be a better way. I think we can do better than what we're doing now. These meetings, we're not getting anything done in these meetings. I just think that we can do better. That's all I've got.
Thank you so much. Dr. Allen?
Hello. So I just want to come up here and make a statement from all the negative press that's been coming around throughout the time to highlight some of the good things that's coming out. I'm with the Springfield Foundation, and we're a community funder here in the area. And over the past several weeks, we've been receiving some really positive media. News. We've been receiving donations from all over the country. We got a call yesterday from Kansas, got a donation from France, not only to support, the issues that's being faced with the immigration, but also being faced within our community as a whole. So I just wanted to come up here and highlight some of the positive things that's happening here, because there are several positive things, and I think that we need to do more of that. So another thing I wanted to address is another thing I want to address is that we do take donations at our foundation, but unfortunately, when things like this happen, scams do come about. So I want to get up here and let you know that the SpringfieldFoundation.org is a site that you can go to donate, and go to the donate button on our page if you want to support some of the efforts that's going on here in Springfield. And with that, we will distribute the funds accordingly to make sure that the community as a whole is being taken care of. So thank you all. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Amanda Richardson?
My name is Amanda Richardson. I was born in Springfield and I've lived here most of my life. And I just wanted to say that I'm so angry about the changes in Springfield in recent years. I can't believe these Haitian immigrants would come here and fill jobs that local Springfield residents would not or could not do. They're working hard, including working overtime, and now they've raised the average city wage for both Springfield and Clark County. They're paying income tax to the city that the city desperately needs for services like police and fire. They're making some of the local losers look bad by their example. It's unbelievable. The Haitian immigrants are working overtime to save up money to buy up all the dilapidated, condemned, and boarded up homes in Springfield, then fixing those houses up to make them livable again. This is raising property values across the city and county to the point where the valuation of all real estate in the city surpassed $1 billion last year for the first time ever. This in turn increases the property taxes paid to Clark County for those homes that are now no longer boarded up nuisances. How awful. I can't believe they're helping to fund our government and beautify our neighborhoods. These Haitian immigrants are now spending money in our community to where new restaurants and retail spaces keep opening up across the city. And not just businesses run by Haitians. What absolute madness. Now we have new businesses in town generating more tax revenue for our city and county? I have a good paying job with great benefits. I don't need SNAP or TAMP, but because I have main character syndrome and the entire world should revolve around me, I want the exorbitant benefits that some of these Haitian immigrants get, which is $292 for SNAP, aka food stamps, and $363 in cash per month for a single adult. Everyone knows that $655 per month lets you live like a millionaire in Springfield. I don't need it, but I want it before anyone else, because why should we help folks who have legally come to our country, but they have to wait for their work permit so they don't starve? I mean, feeding the hungry in our community? This is lunacy. As the senator from the great state of Ohio, J.D. Vance, said back in 2021, childless cat ladies are ruining America. As a childless cat lady, I take my duty to ruin America very seriously. I do this by simply choosing to live my life differently than J.D. Vance's personal religious beliefs would dictate me to do. Mayor Rue, Commissioners Estrop, Brown, Houston, and Tackett, I hope you sit up there and think about what you've done. Because of your support of the Haitian community and the rest of Springfield and Clark County, how am I supposed to ruin America if I can't even ruin Springfield first? I am so disappointed in you. Thank you.
Gaius Jones.
Good evening. Good evening to all. I'm not going to hide behind my hood, black or white hood. I'm going to take it off. Okay, Mr. Rue. How you doing today, sir? First, I know we're not supposed to applaud or clap, but I got to give y'all a round of applause. You guys are doing a hell of a job. Everybody clap. I'll be the only one. So what? First thing I want to do is salute to the fine young gentleman known as the State Highway Patrol that is here, that I see here, that the gentleman that needed a breathalyzer test said he didn't see him. One more thing. He said something about Indian and Spanish and Haitians and all that. Well, we're business owners and we're proud and we're Americans. We're here. We're here to stay. We're not visitors. Stop calling us that. Mark Sanders is who I wanted to talk to you about, Rob Rue. Do you see what you've created, sir? I'm talking to Mark Sanders via Rob Rue. I just see some telekinetic ventriloquism. I thought I did from the 3 hillbilly puppets that J.D. Vance sent up here. But I looked from afar, and I did see a hand up his rectum, so we're going to leave that at that. You guys are worried about towing cars and driving violations. Are you freaking kidding me? Please, stop it. Go buy a tow truck. Open a driving school if that's your main concern. What I'm worried about is the kids of Springfield, Ohio. Again, no youth-based initiatives, Miss Brown, Miss Tackett, Mr. Heck, Mr. Rue, not Miss Rue, Miss Jeffers, and Miss Allen. No youth-based initiatives at all. We got to get them flowing. You told me you was going to connect me with somebody. I just got an email yesterday, Miss Tackett. It's in the mix. That's the real problem. The Haitians are going to be okay. Trust me. They work. They take care of their family. They're going to be all right. The homeless, they've been homeless. They're going to be okay. If not, then go get a damn job. If they're disabled, we got programs set up in place for that. Veterans Affairs, they'll take care of them. You know, them people's going to be okay. The real underlying issue in Springfield, Ohio is the youth. They're lost. How many students we have since Saturday, Miss Brown or Mr. Root? Do you know?
We'll have that answer later.
Okay, there's 3 that I know of. A block away, Buckeye Club, somebody shot in the neck. Pow, close range. Another young kid shot today, this morning, 11:30 a.m., Springfield, Ohio. That's the real issue. That's what we need to be up here griping about. You guys are griping about the wrong stuff, man. I want to cuss so bad, but I'm refraining. Apology is needed for Mark Sanders for creating Stop the Influx page. You see what you created, sir? All of this cartoon stuff, man, you created. When he said he brought something to you guys in March, no, he created that page in March. That's what he did. He created the Stop the Influx page on Facebook in March. That's spewing all the rhetoric and hate and racism. Yes, I'm calling it racism because it is what it is. If you're a bigot, you're a bigot. Some folks can't drive. Some folks can't run. Well, I can't whistle. So what? Nobody's perfect. Learn to accept people. Temp services I don't know if you guys know how temp services work, but they don't get a percentage of the pay. They charge the company a fee, and the employee still retains all their wages.
Thank you for your comments.
Community gentrification is what it is.
Christopher Anderson, thank you.
Wake up. Real problem.
Please.
Okay. My name is Christopher Anderson. I am requesting to use my full 3 minutes without interruption. If any of you, the mayor, city manager, and commission members have something to say, you can wait until I am done speaking instead of interrupting and disparaging people as you have a documented history of doing. My Twitter is K. Anderson Akron. I have been on the ground here in Springfield a few days a week for the past few weeks investigating and reporting on what the actual issues are regarding the Haitian migrants. I am black and I am calling on all the races, including white, to continue to legally and peacefully speak out on these issues, as this is not about race, and I, as a black person, support your commentary on this issue. I have 10K followers or more, and will expose complaints if you reach out to me with a tip or complaint while protecting your identity. Nothing I am about to say is being said in a derogatory manner or in a way to insult anyone. The mayor, in my opinion, has white guilt, as seen by the remarks in his videos from the George Floyd years, where he stated he is moving away from passive bigotry and that he feels as if he grew up with white privilege and passive white supremacy. What I have found is, among many other things reported on my profile, is that there are non-government organizations, aka NGOs, the same ones duplicating their efforts from what they have done with the migrants coming up through the border in Texas, that I have seen with my own eyes, assisting the migrants here, shelling out millions of dollars combined a year for the past few years, namely Catholic Charities and St. Vincent de Paul, among others. There is an entire Haitian economy of its own in the East High Historical District, where Haitian migrants are living in many of the homes and historical mansions. There are cash transfer businesses advertised specifically for Haitians to send money back to Haiti, and advertising that they take EBT, aka tax dollars, for other things they may sell in these stores. Some Springfield residents who have worked high-paying jobs with benefits have reported to me that they are being laid off, and organizations like First Diversity are actively hiring migrants to take jobs, but at a lower pay. This is actually a crisis for both the migrants and the American citizens of Springfield, as businesses, landlords, and others are profiting at their expense. I'm also calling on the state agency overseeing car dealerships to find out how these migrants are getting brand new cars. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Darlene Ely.
Scripted. Gotta say right off the bat, I'm sorry I didn't wear my Trump shirt tonight. There's two things I want to talk about. Number one, I am sick and tired of being called racist and hateful. You guys don't know me. And just because I am not for this influx of 20,000 people at one time does not make me hater or all the other names that you call me. I do not appreciate it. You talk about us being haters and things. What are you doing to us? Okay. Now, and I would want to say about the car accidents. Last year, one-way traffic, because one lane because of construction stuff. I stopped at a red light. A white SUV went through the light on the green light. He stopped many yards ahead of me and started coming back toward me. And I was blowing my horn as hard as I could because I couldn't go anywhere. And he slammed in the front end of me for no reason. That was a Haitian driver. And plus, last night, there was an accident on Durr Road, close to Roses. Haitian slammed into a concrete thing. So all that stuff is happening. Okay, now my main concern, and I've talked a couple times, you talk about the youth. I want our youth taken care of from 13 to 18 years old. I've given ideas. I want a round table. I've got ideas how to fix this problem. We need to work on our youth for our future. They need the same things that senior services offers the seniors in this community. And if we can throw these millions of dollars everywhere else, we need to put in our youth. And it's time somebody gets with me and gets this started.
Please, please. Okay. Randall Comer.
Good evening. My name is Randall Comer, born and raised in Springfield, Ohio, and graduate of the Springfield City Schools. There's probably nothing that I can say here this evening that has not already been said, and I doubt that any of my comments will change the minds of those that are so firmly made up. Nonetheless, I feel compelled to speak this evening, if for no other reason than to show my support for Springfield's Haitian community and my solidarity with those who stand against the lies and hatred directed toward our Haitian neighbors. Our 40th president, Ronald Reagan, who is celebrated as a conservative icon and who originated the campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," after having served 2 terms in office, delivered a farewell address to the American people on January 11th, 1989. In that speech, President Reagan, referencing John Winthrop's sermon, A Model for Christian Charity, likened our great nation to a shining city on a hill. A shining city that represents America's finest qualities: liberty, justice, and opportunity. He further stated in his address that if there had to be city walls, those walls would have doors, and those doors would be open to anyone with the will and the heart to get here. Well, our Haitian neighbors, like our ancestors, like my ancestors, have exhibited the will and heart that President Reagan spoke of, and at great risk and sacrifice have passed through those doors to come here, to make a better life for themselves and for their children. So now how do we, as their neighbors, treat them? Well, where the law fails to give adequate instruction, it seems that we must rely on moral teachings. And because the majority of Americans identify as Christians, it seems the Bible in this case should be instructive. We learn from the Bible that we are our brother's keeper. We're commanded to love thy neighbor as thyself. And specifically, Leviticus states, when a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. You shall treat that stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. We, citizens of Springfield, now stand at a crossroads, a defining moment in which we must decide how we will conduct ourselves in the eyes of the nation, because the eyes of the nation are now upon us.
Thank you so much.
We must not fall prey to ignorance and deceit, nor succumb to fear and hatred. Yes, instead, we must strive with all our might to reach the higher ideals of our humanity: courage, compassion, love, and kindness. We must set the example.
Randall,
In this defining moment, we must be the shining city upon the hill.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, you can leave, Diane. Thank you so much for being here. So I want to talk, we're going to do some commission comments. If you remember, I've called every card up here. Okay, well, if you filled out a card, go ahead and go up there. And I believe you, I got it here. It wasn't handed to me yet. Okay.
My name is Charlie, the fence man, and I just want to say that some of these people that treat people bad, that's why things ain't going right for them. Because no one is perfect, not me, not you, not them. If you want to live a peaceful life, accept yourself for who you are and respect others as they are. And this is for my Haitian friend. Don't let anybody's ignorance, hate, drama, or negativity stop you from being the best person you can be. Some people are wanting to see you fail. Some people are waiting to see you quit. Let them wait forever. The best thing you learn from the worst time of your life is that you get to see the true color of everybody. And the last thing I want people to think about is, what is truly the definition of coffee? It's not a bean that you roast and pour in a cup. What it is Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere. And I appreciate you. And I want to compliment y'all. You're doing a good job regardless what somebody else say. But we all got to remember, we can't never please everybody.
Thank you so much. So one of the first comments came up was talking about traffic laws, and it's been echoed several times throughout. If you remember that the state of Ohio stepped in before any of the things that we've seen in the last couple of weeks happened. So Safety Director Andy Wilson is here tonight from the state, and he's going to speak to the program that the state of Ohio with Governor DeWine in conjunction with our local law enforcement have done with reckless operation. He's got some stats to share with us. Director Wilson, would you come up and speak with us?
Thank you, Mayor Rue. First of all, I want to start out by saying that the people of Springfield, you should be incredibly proud of the men and women that you have in uniform. The men and women who are part of your police department, the men and women who are part of your fire department. And it doesn't matter, again, it doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter if you're black, it doesn't matter where you're from. We all bleed red. And the men and women who put that uniform on often put themselves in danger to prevent us from bleeding that red or to help us once we are bleeding that red. And you all should be incredibly proud of your police department and your fire department and the men and women who make those agencies. To that end, those agencies are stretched thin. They're really stretched thin. They're dealing with the normal call volume that the city has while trying to enforce the traffic laws and deal with the driving situation that you all face. At the end of August, we had a meeting with leaders from the city where they came over and they asked for help. And they said, hey, look, we need some enforcement help on our streets. So can you help? Can you bring the patrol in? So we have a lot of assets in the patrol, and we were able to pull some of the patrol down off the highways. We were able to bring some extra forces in. And a couple things that we looked at. We wanted, first of all, to be data driven. All right, we wanted to focus on it wasn't just a blanket operation in the city. We wanted to focus on areas where you were having crashes, where you were having some problems. So we're letting data drive where our troopers are patrolling. The other thing is it has to be 100% race neutral. We look at the violation. We don't look at who's driving the car. It is, if there's a violation, then we're going to address it. And we focused on the traffic violations that seem to be problematic here in the city. Excessive speed, reckless driving, failure to yield or stop at stop signs, and there was one other. I can't remember. I think it was the 3-lane change that you see going on. So that's what we instructed the troopers to do, and that operation actually started on September 11th, 2024, with respect to our extra patrols. In that time, our troopers, this is just our troopers helping out in the city. In those areas that we've identified as problem areas, those troopers have made 337 traffic stops. They've issued 136 enforcement actions in that time period. There's been 12 OVI arrests. There's been 101 warnings. They do give warnings in certain situations. And they've actually, through those traffic stops, come across 3 felony offenses as well. In addition to that, they've investigated 33 crashes. And again, those are all things that relieve pressure on your police department, allow your police department to be out actually responding to domestic violence and some of the calls that you have. And we're going to continue to work on that operation because enforcement is a part of what we have to do to help keep people safe. Again, you just can't have folks driving reckless. You can't have folks driving without a license, and we need to make sure that we are addressing that behavior. Mayor Rue, I can also address, I know an issue was brought up about driver's education, driver's training. So that's something also that falls within the Department of Public Safety. So one of the issues we have in Ohio, the governor's trying to address is if you're above the age of 18, you don't have to go through any driver's training at all. Nobody does. It doesn't matter where you're from. So we know, again, through statistics, that the 18 to 24-year-old demographic, again, no matter what your nationality is those are our most dangerous drivers on the road. So there's no permit requirement. There's no driving with a licensed driver requirement. You can just go in and take the test and get your license. We obviously, as everybody's aware, there is an issue with increased crashes and the Haitian drivers. And when you talk to the community, they understand that. I mean, they understand that as well. The problem is at this point, we just don't have adult driving curriculum available for anyone. We're working on that. All right. And it's not free adult driving curriculum just for Haitian community. It'll be for anybody because we want anybody who hasn't had driver's training to have the opportunity to have driver's training. Now, what we are doing is we know that one of the things that makes a driver safer more than anything else is time behind the wheel with an actual, like either instructor or somebody who's giving them instruction. Somebody who says, hey, look, you have to come to a police stop. Hey, you have to actually get in this turn lane before you turn left. So we're actually developing a driver mentor program. Again, it'll be free. We're not charging people for it. It's to get into the businesses, to get into church groups where you can learn how to teach folks to drive the same way you taught your kid how to drive. And you can spend time if you want to volunteer your time with the Haitian community, or you know somebody who can translate, or if you have a friend who's not Haitian, who never went through driver training and is a bad driver, be a driver mentor for them. So we're constrained right now with the way that the law is. If you want to change the law about who can get a license, we have to go to the General Assembly. You have to change the law through our state reps and our state senators with respect to the driver's education requirement. The final point that I'll make is somebody talked about grants, free driver's education for certain groups and not groups. We actually, Governor DeWine in the last budget, knowing that we need to do a better job of getting kids into driver's education because they don't have to take it. They can wait till they're 18 and not take it. He established 2 grant programs. One is called the Code Grant. That is to basically start driving schools because one of the problems is there's just not enough driving schools for people to go to. So Clark County received 2 code grants to the tune, I think, of right around $500,000 to go to driving schools to help them, get cars, get the infrastructure. So that has happened. You've actually had a new driving school pop up in Clark County that has been the result of those code grants. The other thing is we have Drive to Succeed grants. One of the barriers to driver's education is the cost. And some kids just can't afford to pay the $500, $600, so they don't take it and they wait till they're 18. So Governor DeWine in the last budget put into place Drive to Succeed grants. So that is low income or at need kids who just aren't going to be able to afford to go to driver's training can get subsidized. Not subsidized, but they can get a supplement to that to help with the cost. That is here in Springfield, and we have that through the vocational school. So those are available. The monies that we're putting into driver's education is to keep all drivers safe on the road, not just a certain group. So, Mayor, I hope that somewhat answers your question and helps with some of those issues.
Thank you so much. Another couple comments that I remember. I think somebody asked about the $2.5 million that Governor DeWine allocated. That is directly towards healthcare. That is directly towards the two, I believe, our critical care hospital and also the Rocking Horse. And how those funds will be distributed, they'll be public and accountable. That's not necessarily coming through us. It's going to help those. I believe also in this last week, if Director Wilson will just give me a nod, also committed to looking for a facility for a healthcare clinic. He announced that in a press conference as well.
That is correct.
So we're looking to have an additional, and that's for all people. All this is for all people. The $2.5 million, and in which some of it will probably be used for translation deficit services. Okay, so that's what I remember and understood from that. I also want to address the gentleman that spoke. That was Haitian that also served as the United States military. He made a comment that could be a buzz, and I want to clarify that. You said at the end, you're very gracious. Thank you for allowing us to live here. I just need to say that I had no foreknowledge of immigrants coming into our community and making a decision to allow or disallow. Folks that are here are here. And I've said this multiple times publicly. It is our job to make sure this community is secure and that we wrap our arms around this situation. It is a human thing to do, period. I don't like to see a broad brush of hate swathed against any human group. And I don't like seeing what we're seeing in the last couple of weeks. So I'm just saying that as good city leaders, we have to wrap around. We are subject to the federal administration policy that we are dealing with. And we're subject to that, which means we're going to deal with it. And that's the best we can do. There was a national leader, not a leader, there was a national person came in town, was running for president, and there was a good town hall discussion on immigration. Whether you agree with him or not, it does not matter to me. But that is where the discussion of immigration needs to be, because we do not set immigration policies at the city level, even at the state level. But at the federal legislative level is where immigration reform in an accountability way needs to be addressed. And so the fact that there was a town hall with a guy who ran for president and is interested in federal policy, was the perfect place to have that discussion. And I watched a lot of it. It seemed to be a good, robust discussion. So I want to thank those that engaged in the community and went to that. I also want to keep saying another thing, that there is this has been, as a guy who's been put in a leadership position, this has been a very difficult 2 weeks to deal with personally. And I just want to say that it is, again, a misunderstanding or absolutely not true that I would be accused not to care about the things that we're hearing from both of these podiums and microphones. It is sometimes very stressful because I know that the demand for the answer, you want it now, and I know inside that it's just not going to come right now. And that's very difficult to hear. We are all concerned about safety in this community, and I know that our city manager is going to look into that. I also know that we can't make everybody happy, and you just got to know that we are doing the best we can with what we are doing. I'll speak for me. That's what we're doing there. So I want to say thank you to Springfield, who's had to endure the bomb threats, the hate, the vitriol. I mean, there's been a lot of very terrible things that have been communicated by email, by voicemails. If you want to sit down with me for an hour, we can listen to these very hateful voicemails that I've received personally, and attacks on, and hate towards family members. It's all very scary. It's very scary. It's not what I signed up for personally, but I'm here, and you never know what you're going to do when you're in a leadership position or what you're going to have to deal with. So personally, as one commissioner, I'm trying to lead the best I can through that. You just need to know my ears are wide open, but there's a lot coming at me, and I know there is the individuals. They'll speak to that and how they're dealing with it, I'm sure. But to those that have had to endure, I visited schools on Friday. My intention was to visit the schools. The students are there, the teachers there. Miss Crystal went to a couple of schools with me. We're just showing support. She works in all the schools. She's very active in the school system. I just wanted to go and show support to the kids, to the teachers, that we care. We're listening, okay? Again, thank you for the engagement here. I don't think I have any more comments. We'll go ahead and have Commissioner comments, and then I know that the city manager has several answers.
I do not have any comments tonight.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Crystal. Ms. Tracy?
I have plenty for the both of us. just a little bit about what I've been working on the past couple weeks. So I know Brian and I have talked about this, and I've advocated to the city to increase mental health in our schools since the beginning of this. For 2 weeks, we've been in discussions, and I've been with 2 different mental health organizations discussing how and hopefully this will happen in our community in regards to all the additional stress being put on our children and within our school districts, including thoughts of our county district as well. We have talked about increasing maybe a possibility in busing, seeing if that can even be a thing. I think that that could also help again with some of the issues around driving, so that folks can get around safely to their jobs until we figure out what's happening with the combined county city quote unquote Uber type system we're going to be going to, hopefully. I want to give you a homeless update. So where we are with that. All right. So I want to let the community and commissioners know that the direct service providers of homeless services have been meeting to develop a new housing plan for both the city and county commission. This group has reconvened as a result of an impromptu meeting with Clark County Commissioner Wilt, City Commissioner Houston, and myself. That group of direct service providers included Sheltered Inc., Salvation Army, Project Woman, OIC of Clark County, Springfield City Schools, Nehemiah Foundation, St. Vincent de Paul. Their plan should be arriving at the commissions around the first week of November. I also have another update because I don't want to drop the ball with the gun violence. I know that's a very big issue. It was big before all of this, and as we're trying to juggle through everything, I know I speak to a lot of officers often, and I know they share concern, and it keeps them up at night about the youth. So an update from Caleb, who has our gun violence grant over at OIC. I asked him for an update, which we met 2 weeks ago, but again, touched base with him this morning just to see if I can get more recent information. He said, I've been participating and working with community partners such as Nehemiah Foundation, Springfield Promise Neighborhood to help spread the message of reducing gun violence, collecting community sentiment, and forming community partnerships. We will also be starting an awareness campaign in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. Also, I've received some information and voters reaching out to me from the Clark Shawnee District. I hear you. I met with Superintendent Brian Kuhn last week so that I can stay engaged and become more informed on what is happening out there and with your concerns. I want to thank the Nehemiah Foundation for inviting me to a prayer morning, and they invited me last Wednesday, and people came together and prayed for our city, and it was just good for my spirit. So I want to thank them for that. I also want to thank all the folks that helped me with the civic session that we held, 6 of them over 12 weeks. This included Wittenberg. Rob Baker was my professor over at Wittenberg, but we hosted this over at the Arts Council, or the Springfield Art Museum. 6 sessions, and it was community talk, community engagement. And I just want to give my appreciation to them, and also Carrie from United Way for helping me host that. And just another shout out to a good organization in our community, Second Harvest Food Bank. I was able to attend their breakfast and learn so much about what they're doing about food in our community. And we have the 59th Annual Community Beautification Awards coming up October 6th at 2 p.m. So maybe you guys remember this. I know my grandpa won it several times. You get the plaque in the yard, and just a nice little sentiment there that goes on. And again, it's 59 years this has been happening. But that is open to the public. And if you'd like to RSVP, you can get a hold of me. Another way you can get involved in the community currently, especially with the homeless situation, please reach out to Sheltered Inc. Thank you.
Okay, Brian?
Yes, thank you, Commission. So again, we have the opportunity to answer questions. If there's questions that we cannot answer tonight, we will follow up with you. If you provided your information, we'll follow up with you in the next couple of days and then post that information to our website. Again, We also have the QR codes that are out on the doors, as well as on our website, an opportunity to be able to send those questions and respond. So if you have questions. So again, I want to reiterate, you don't have to wait every 2 weeks to come down and have questions answered. We want to be able to answer your questions. So please reach out utilizing either the website or reach out to my office, the city manager's office. So there were several, I know, public safety related things and a lot. One, just appreciate, and we definitely hear your concerns about public safety and practices and policies. And so, we will continue to look at the facts and collect the facts, and we'll accurately address allegations with complete information. So we'll look into every specific case that's brought to us. We continue to do that, and we encourage you to bring issues and items forward as it relates to public safety, but we need specifics on the incidents and the matters to be able to look into that. And again, you don't have to wait every 2 weeks. You can reach out through our police division and talk to somebody, talk to Chief Elliott. She makes herself available to be able to answer a lot of those questions, but she has to be able to collect the information and look into that. So I just wanted to encourage folks. Again, we take every incident, every report very seriously and investigate it to the full extent, and can provide information as it relates to that, knowing the specific information from you. I did want to touch on, I know one was specifically about the driver not charged for somebody that was hit. I do want to just state that that was outside the city limits, so we have no jurisdiction over that case, and that was being investigated and handled by another agency. So that would not be the city of Springfield in that investigation. And then as it relates to temporary protective status, the law that was mentioned, I will have to do additional research into that. I'm not aware of what's being mentioned or referred to, so I will look into that. There was a question about curfew for minors. If Law Director Jill Allen wanted to speak to what we have on the books as it relates to a curfew.
Sure. So we have a codified ordinance. It's 511.02. We have a curfew of midnight. It is enforced. Arrests are made for violations.
And then a lot was talked about the schools, and I know some of that was addressed in other statements. I just want to say, obviously, the schools are a separate entity and so forth. We do collaborate and coordinate with them a lot. I know Dave Lyle, who's in charge of all of their safety security of the buildings, is constantly looking for new tools, resources, equipment that they can put into the schools to keep our kids, the staff, and the faculty safe. And so just talked to him last week when we went out there just to talk about what they were putting in place in those measures. And that's something that he continually looks at and invests in for the school district. So that is happening.
Hey, we'll let Brian answer, and then if there's comments after, maybe you can have a one-on-one with Brian at some point. Thank you.
I'm trying to, trying to follow all the things. There was a question just regarding about Haitians buying guns. Again, those are things, if those are brought to us, we investigate that. It's not us, it's directed to the ATF, and they would do research into that if there are businesses that are improperly selling or illegally selling guns in the community. There was, I know, one general complaint that was made to the Clark County Sheriff Office specifically about Rural King, and that specific issue was investigated and it was seen to be unfounded. So again, those are things that we do look into. Questions about First Diversity. General statement is there's an ongoing investigation into practices in our community, and those are things that we take very seriously. Those have been ongoing investigations. They do take a lot of time. We refer those to the proper authorities at both the state and federal level to continue those investigations and look into any illegal activity, whether it be human trafficking or other financial crimes. Those are things that are always looked into and again referred to the appropriate agencies, usually at the state from us, and then the state will call on the feds if they need additional resources. Commissioner Tackett talked about the plan for homeless and the direct service providers. I I know Logan Cobbs, our community development director, actually has a meeting this week too with the same providers to, again, coordinate, collaborate on what that plan looks like. She also spoke to the mental health and well-being of the kids. I know one of the initiatives that we specifically, the commission invested in, was the school-based health clinic, which includes mental health as a component to that. That opened up this school year, and just went on a tour of that, and it's been great already in there for those kids and their families for the support services that are provided. Andy did a great job of talking about the governor's initiatives and traffic enforcement. I'll say on the $2.5 million, just a little clarity that just came out on that. That will focus on primary care specifically because primary care, access to primary care is very difficult in our community. And so that's something the governor wanted to improve on with that $2.5 million. So it will go into expanding primary care services in Springfield for everyone. And then I'm the last one to address. I was just going to state, so the specific question that I have continued to be asked by reporters, by JD Vance's staff, was specific to, are the rumors true about people's pets being taken and eaten? I have been consistent in my response, again, to Vance's staff and to any media inquiries, which I can tell you we've had more media inquiries than I've ever seen in my career. News agencies I didn't even know existed. But my statement has been consistent. We investigate any report of a crime in our community, and there is no substantiated evidence to the claims that were made to the specific question I was asked, which are the rumors true about people's pets being taken and eaten.
Thank you. We're going to take a 3 to 5 minute break, then we'll begin our business meeting. Thank you. Okay, if you would take your conversations, if you would go on outside, or you can go ahead and be seated. We have a business meeting to conduct. The clerk will proceed with first reading ordinances.
Vacating a strip of land approximately 210 feet in length, being approximately 50 feet off the west side of Astor Lane and approximately 46 feet off the east side of Astor Lane.
Just a minute. If you could take your conversations to a different part of the room, that'd be great. Go ahead, thank you.
Amending the zoning map of Springfield, Ohio by rezoning 0.144 acres at 1335 North Limestone Street, Springfield, Ohio, from CO1 Commercial Office District to RS8 Medium Density Multifamily Residence District. Authorizing the city manager to enter into an amendment number 4 to the subrecipient agreement with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Dayton to extend the period of performance to December 31st, 2024, and confirming and approving related services provided from July 1, 2024 to the passage of this ordinance. Confirming and approving the acceptance of a 2024-2025 Selective Traffic Enforcement Program grant in an amount up to $27,547.19 and a 2024-2025 Impaired Driving Enforcement Program grant in an amount up to $26,047.19 from the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Governor's Highway Safety Office to reimburse salaries and certain fringe benefits of officers assigned to special overtime projects, authorizing the city manager, finance director, law director, and chief of police to perform all acts and execute all documents they consider necessary to fulfill the city's obligations under said grants and to comply with all relevant local, state, and federal legal requirements. Confirming and approving applying for and accepting the 2024 Burn Justice Assistance Grant Program Award to provide funding in the amount of $51,183 to purchase various safety technology equipment, and confirming and approving an interlocal agreement between the city and the Board of County Commissioners of Clark County, Ohio, for an amount not to exceed $25,591 in connection with the 2024 Burn Justice Assistance Grant. Confirming and approving the increase of a purchase order in an amount not to exceed $31,000 for a total cost not to exceed $105,500 with Majors Enterprises for the Auburn Avenue Emergency Sewer Repair.
Do you have any comments, Brian, on first readings? Explanations?
Yeah, just commissioners, just to bring a couple items to light, specifically 252-24 and 253-24. These are ways that we can continue to leverage state and federal dollars into our community to help with enforcement, specifically law enforcement activities. The first one is it relates to traffic enforcement and impaired driving. So again, as we continue to look for ways to have force multipliers and specific data-driven traffic enforcement activities in our community, we can utilize these grants to help that and increase that throughout the community. And then the Burn Justice Assistance Grant is an annual grant that we partner with the Board of County Commissioners and ultimately the Sheriff's Office. We take turns applying for it each year and split the funds, and we're able to use those for various purchases within the Springfield Police Division. And then the change order 254-24 specifically relates to a 60-inch sewer as we're preparing to pave the roadway there. This is adjacent to the new fire station on South Limestone, and so we're working so that we can pave the roadways and repairing the utilities, again, to protect our investment. And there's a 60-inch section of sewer line that needs to be replaced, and so it's a pretty expensive pipe.
Thank you. Other comments from commissioners on first readings only? Other comments from the audience on first readings? Clerk, would you go ahead and proceed with second readings?
Confirming and approving supplemental appropriations within various funds.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from commissioners from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
confirming and approving purchases and obtaining the services for the city and providing for payments therefore.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum principal amount of $6 million in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying the costs of improving the municipal fire safety facilities by constructing, furnishing, and equipping a new fire station and otherwise improving the site therefore, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Amending Ordinance 91-9 passed March 12, 1991, and commonly known as the Codified Ordinances of the City of Springfield, Ohio, by amending certain provisions of Section 185.09 entitled Unused Vacation.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into an intergovernmental agreement by and between the City of Springfield, Ohio, and the Board of Clark County Commissioners in connection with the West Home Road and St. Paris Pike paving project.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving acceptance of an easement and dedicating those certain rights in real estate for the purpose of constructing, reconstructing, operating, and maintaining stormwater management facilities.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving change order number 1 to the contract between the city and Bricks Incorporated for the installation and maintenance of a fire station alerting system to increase the contract in an amount not to exceed $15,000 for a total amount not to exceed $438,820 for the initial 5-year term, and authorizing the city manager to execute said change order number 1.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a development incentive agreement, non-residential development, with Christian Brothers Meat Company, LLC, to provide water and sewer services to real property outside the city limits.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Approving updated roadway names in the Melody Parks subdivision.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Providing for the appointment of Sarah A. Gillis to the position of Deputy City Clerk.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving an amendment with Rumpke of Ohio Incorporated for trash pickup at various city facilities to exercise the option to renew and to modify the service locations for an amount not to exceed $35,000.
Great minds think alike. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners, from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, any other new items on the agenda? Any other announcements from commissioners? And then is there a motion to adjourn?
Real quick, Rob.
Okay.
Allison wanted to read a quick statement of thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Rue. Commissioners, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to Governor DeWine for his unwavering commitment to our community by providing additional public safety resources during this crucial time. His support, along with the collective efforts of our partners, has been invaluable in enhancing the safety and security of Springfield. We cannot thank all of our public safety partners, many of whom you see here tonight, enough for the incredible backing they have provided. Together, we are undoubtedly stronger and better. And through this partnership, we have taken significant steps in making Springfield a safer community for everyone. I personally have the privilege to witness daily, firsthand, the tireless work behind the scenes by our Springfield Police Division officers and our dedicated partners at the Springfield Fire Rescue Division. Their commitment to the safety of our community is both inspiring and steadfast. And in these last couple of weeks, we have been able to learn and grow from our experiences with our public safety partners, which has allowed us to reflect and better improve our service to you. We acknowledge that over the past few weeks, our city has looked a little different, and our schools may seem changed as well. And I want to assure you that these adjustments are all part of a greater effort to make our city a safer place for everyone. Every action we take is done with the safety and well-being of our community at the forefront of our minds. We also want to take this opportunity to recognize and thank our Springfield and Clark County communities. So many of you have reached out to share overwhelming support and appreciation. Please know that your words and gestures have not gone unnoticed. We see you and we deeply appreciate you. Your encouragement fuels our resolve and reminds us of the resilient and united community we are. The last few weeks have certainly presented unique challenges, but with each day, we continue to grow stronger and more unified. I am confident that our shared commitment to each other will carry us through, and we will emerge as a better community. Thank you, Springfield, for your unwavering support and resilience. Together, we are building a safer and stronger city, and for that, I could not be more grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Sincere thank you to everyone helping keep us safe in the community. We appreciate it.
Or motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. Thank you.